Hey everyone, Lara Joseph here, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. I am going to do a quick live stream and show you, tell you why our birds, now I'm just talking about parrots, but definitely not limited to, why our parrots need enrichment, right Rico? Yes, yes. Why our birds, but definitely not limited to parrots. I work with a lot of different animals, mammals, fish, a lot of birds. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to focus today just on birds, but definitely not limited to parrots. I'm talking corvids, vultures, what have you. But I am going to focus on birds today that are very manipulative with their beak and with their feet. A lot of birds, they have a long history of evolution, so they are very manipulative. And one of the definitions that I go from in my my master's classes in applied behavior analysis is the definition of enrichment, the definition of intelligence is the ability for an animal, or including humans, to adjust the outcome of a behavior each time that behavior happens. Is that not the parrot? Is that not the corvid? If there is not, I'm going to show you a toy that I just made, and I'm going to show you, I haven't finished it, I'm going to show you how I made it, and why I made it the way I did. I believe 100% that all animals, if they are in our care, no matter what the animal is, it should be provided enrichment. Enrichment is arousal of the senses. You see here in our cages, this is one cage here. This is Rico, our umbrella cockatoo, who will be 12 in a couple of weeks. This is his cage. He has numerous types of enrichment in his cage and at numerous levels. So with parrots, I see a lot of people hanging toys right above the perch. You will not see that here. You will see the perch here and the toy hanging in front of it. Because a lot of parrots, birds, if toys touch their body, they don't necessarily, some do, and in some different situations. We make certain types of enrichment here that the animals can preen with. Some birds don't like toys touching their bodies. So we always hang the toy in it, so you can see how the toy is hung here. So perch placement, how the toy is hung from a lot of ours are hung from the top. So you'll see here, we have long, because these are 9-foot tall cages, we have long, what we call ceiling protectors. We also hang them here. These are 2-inch PVC pipes with end caps, and they are intentionally 2-inch, so parrots can't get their feet around them and they can't go up and destroy the ceiling. Here we have them in the cage, and the reason is because I don't like putting long chain on any type of toy. Here I have, this is a metal chain, this is a nickel-plated chain. We use stainless steel and nickel-plated here to avoid any type of metal toxicity. If we have a bird that is chewing on metal, we pay special attention to that. And we don't put metal in that cage unless it's stainless steel, because the nickel-plated, once this plating comes off, this is toxic metal underneath. Here he is playing with one of his toys, and this is somewhat similar to one of the toys I just made. Let me turn this around, see if I can get a better view. Focus. So where the toy is hung can also create the complexity. Those of you that know, I give a big talk on choice, control, and complexities, and the impact they have on the behavior of the parrots and the other animals in our lives. But anyways, what I was saying is, if you are using nickel-plated, once that nickel plate comes off, that is toxic metal underneath. The nickel plating is not toxic, but what is underneath is. So If you have a bird that chews on metal, I would use stainless steel instead and nothing else. All right, so if you guys want to ask questions, if you can, wait till the end of this live stream or wait towards the end and I'll answer your questions live. Otherwise, I'll answer your questions when I go back and review this after I stopped live. Okay, so because this is going to be repurposed for different social media platforms. I'm going to show you how I made this toy and why I made this toy. We make toys here. If I could do nothing else, I mean, I love to train because it empowers animals, but when I need to take a break from training, like today, I needed to take a break. I'm going to be doing 8 hours nonstop training tomorrow at the zoo, so I wanted to come out here and relax. So I said, let's get hot. Let's make some toys. So that's what I'm doing. Making toys for birds is very enriching for me. I love to make toys that provide choices for animals, because no matter how big that cage is, it's going to get boring really fast. It's going to get boring really fast. You guys, I have 10,000 square feet of training center out there. 40 plus tall ceilings. That's a huge space. That space will get boring and get stagnant if the items in the environment do not change. Now, this is based on each individual. I'm going to focus strictly on birds today. If that is a bird that is not used to coming out of its cage or is cage bound, there is no way I am going to move it into a cage this size. I will eventually. That will be my goal eventually, but that can be extremely stressful to that animal if the animal is not used to that. So that is why I'm a big promoter of enrichment. If you have an animal in our care, you better be going beyond natural enrichment. You have to be going beyond a natural enrichment because so many of that animal's choices are no longer natural. So that is my philosophy and my philosophy only, and it has been since day one that I started working with animals. Natural enrichment is not enough. I see a lot of different people, stores, zoos, wildlife rehab centers, understanding this and providing more than natural enrichment. So I'm talking natural enrichment such as trees, branches, sunlight, palm fronds, whatever. You better be creating enrichment that gives more choices beyond that. Because if that animal is in our care, and if that animal, I don't care if you want to call this a cage or if you want to call this an enclosure, it has sides and the animal is confined inside of it and choices are limited. So the reason I provide enrichment is because it provides choices, and studies show that animals prefer, in our care, prefer to move their body parts. Yes, we're talking about you. Look, he just stops and he's like, are you talking about me? Yeah. Continue on, carry on. They prefer to move their bodies in unnatural ways that they would in the wild. Now, there's different theories beyond that. But anyways, I like to provide enrichment that provides choices. That's why I'm a big promoter of foraging. Now, not all birds will interact with toys or interact with items. If they aren't, it is my ultimate goal to get them to do so because it empowers the animal. The more choice the animal has in this environment, the more control they feel they have. This is not just me. This is studies that show this. The more control they have, the more choices they have, the more sense of control they feel they have. The more choice of control they feel they have, the more empowered that animal. I'm very passionate about this. We provide different levels, heights, and we provide different levels of toys and enrichment. Now, I want to get back to this toy because I want to show you how I did it, why I did it, and what birds it's for, and how we got to this point. So, we have different birds here.
Rico, he will be 12 in a couple of weeks. He is, I would say, a very advanced forager. That is why I hang the toys where I do. That is by a swing, because that swing moves. I mean, he's an extremely advanced forager, extremely. You're gonna see this toy is for him. So, very advanced. Rocky, our 18-year-old Moluccan cockatoo, I would say intermediate. Murray, our 12-year-old green wing, advanced. Suki, our unknown, at least 8-year-old blue-fronted Amazon, I would call her something different. I would call her what is called a gentle forager. She has a mind. She is a master manipulator of her environment. She may not chew through tough surfaces, but that brain is a ticking and a thinking, and I need to keep up with it. So I call her a gentle forager. She will figure things out, but she's not going to chew through large blocks of wood to do so. So, a lot of the toys I make. I have a bachelor's degree in documentary filmmaking. I went to college to make wildlife documentaries. That is what my degree is in. Obviously, I failed miserably. And gladfully so. I mean, I am very happy doing what I'm doing. But I went back to school and started taking master's classes in applied behavior analysis. And guess what I did for a living to pay my way through college the second time? I made and sold bird toys, primarily, but definitely not limited, for parrots. This is something, we have several, most of the birds that we have here have come from shelters or lost their home for one reason or another. First thing I do, get them to forage. Why? It provides choice. It gives them something to do. Tomorrow is zoo day. I will be gone. These birds will not see me, because once I come back from the zoo, I will not walk in here because I just don't want to cross-contaminate. New word, contaminate. So these birds won't see me, so I made this toy for Rico. One of several toys that we make. We've got some toys up here from some birds at the zoo. We will, if a bird does not know how to interact with toys, we will teach them through a process called shaping, which is reinforcing real small approximations towards the target behavior. So this, I made and sold bird toys for 5 years to get myself through college the second time. Okay, not 5 years, probably more like 3. Okay, so yeah, that's why one of my email addresses is Avian Santa. That's my personal email address though. But anyways, okay, I want to show you. So I make toys no matter where the animal comes from. If they come from a shelter, if they come from a breeder, if they're living at zoos, if they live at wildlife rehabilitation centers, I provide toys for, yes you can, Deb. I provide toys for all, enrichment toys for all different types of animals. And I provide toys that give choices and intermittent schedules of enrichment. There is food inside of here. So once the animal understands, and behind all of those holes is pieces of food. That is an intermittent, those provide intermittent schedules of enrichment. So let me show you what I did and how I did it. If you are not on our email newsletter list, I highly suggest you do so. We come out with newsletters every 2 weeks with video clips on on enrichment, on behavior, and on training of all different types of birds, or animals, not just birds, as you know, because now we have parrots, pups, pigs, primates, predators, and people. Okay, so if the bird does not understand how to forage, I teach it through a process called shaping. I will start with what is the bird interacting with, and I will watch in its cage. What is it touching? Like right now, he's not eating. He's sifting food. Most of his toys, or most of his food, is all stuck in foraging toys throughout his cage. We make the majority of our toys because I have to shape a lot of these behaviors and a lot of these levels of complexity. One time somebody approached me and said they thought I was full of crap, whatever, because of how intense I was making these toys. And would like to say, I am not the one that decides my animal's enrichment. My animal is. I will shape my behavior around that animal to increase complexity, right, sweetheart? To increase complexity, to empower that mind. I want a very, what do I want from you? I want a very confident animal. I want an animal that is confident and independent from me. And I do that through toys. Okay, so we have a couple of different, sorry, I told you I was passionate about this. I have a couple different hole sizes on here, okay? I drill these holes with a drill press. You can also drill these with a hand drill. Can get tricky, be careful. I've almost I've got scars all over my hands from drill presses gone wild. And me watching TV instead of paying attention to the holes I'm drilling. Okay, so I've drilled a couple different sizes holes, and I've drilled these intentionally to match what is inside of here. So like I said, this is for Rico. So I'll show you what's inside of here. See this orange piece here? That is this. Okay? And I could have pounded it in this way into the hole, but that would be too easy. Rico could pull this out very easily. See, I know this is a highly valued toy to him. He hasn't had it yet, but I can tell because he's sitting here watching me. So instead of pounding it this way, I turned it around and pounded it in this way, because see that? That's that orange piece. So that's going to be a little tougher for him to get out. Now that second wooden piece, the yellow piece down at the bottom, I'll show you. Remember those 10,000 toy parts we just dyed last week? Okay, it's an acorn. When I saw this acorn, you know what I saw? I saw something that could be shoved into a hole. And not shoved, let me show you what I do to it. Okay, I'm gonna turn this around. Hi. He does that when he's excited. Oh, he must have seen something outside. Okay, so we set this on a piece of wood because it doesn't vibrate when you hammer. So I'm going to take a couple pieces. This is of the animals' reinforcers, not mine, not ones I think the animal should like, ones I've already determined that the animal does like. And I'm going to pound this into here. So if you guys like this content, we just covered shaping, and I'm going to grab this hammer. We just covered shaping. If you are a subscriber to our annual membership program, we just finished covered shaping, bridging, different types of enrichment, how enrichment empowers animals. This is very hard for me to do one-handed, so I really want to cram that in there. Yes, so if you are not a member of our annual membership program, you can find that at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. You can also sign up for our email newsletter. These are almond slivers. These are valuable reinforcers of Rico. I know, I've already identified them. So if you're not a member, or if you're not already signed up for our email newsletter list, you can do that also at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Okay. Now, see, I don't pound it in this way. I'm going to turn around and pound it in this way. Okay? That's right, Rico. Let me set this down for a second. Hang on. I'm pounding hard because he's going to be able to get those. Okay, so I really whacked that in there. Okay, now on the top, you see I have pony beads. So a lot of times I get questions with the pony beads. Aren't you afraid the bird's going to eat the pony beads? Watch your bird. No enrichment is 100% safe. If you wanted, I've seen people try to be 100% safe with their animals, and that is a very under-enriched animal. I need my animals using their minds, making decisions, manipulating their environment. If they are manipulating their environment, they have more sense of choice and control in their environment. So how I'm pounding these pony beads in, if I'm working with a beginning forager, I wouldn't even start here. if you're trying to shape the behavior of foraging, which means getting an animal to search for their food, this is way too complex. Okay? But what I do, what are you looking at? This isn't for you. But what I do for an animal, and this is what I did with Rocky years ago. I started with smaller pieces of wood, but that's not where I began. But I put these pony beads in sideways so it would be easy for a beak to grab that pony bead out of there. Yeah. Not now. This is for Rico. Not now. Not anymore for Rocky. We've got bigger choices for him to make. Okay? So I accidentally, these holes are a smidgen too big. I used the wrong size drill. I tend to be wrong once in a while. I'm joking. I tend to be wrong quite a bit. Okay? So what, if I want to make it tougher for Rico, I can turn it sideways and really whack it in. Or like this. Okay? Now I want to show you what Hugh does with this. So I can tell I have an interest. Oh yeah, we got an open beak. Looking at a toy, you would like that? You want some of this? You want some of this? Okay. What kind of wood? Nicole, in case anybody else, I missed your question, hang on. What kind of wood this is? See, I forgot to get my drill press or my drill bit ready. I use untreated pine for a lot of my wood, but definitely not limited to. So what I'm going to do right here is, when I was single, about 15 years ago, I had power tools in my kitchen. I didn't have, pots and pans like regular people. I had power tools. And I had people want to come over and borrow my power tools. Okay, so I'm trying to do this one-handed without a tripod. So I've already got this ready. Okay, I hook, entrusted cockatoo. A plus B equals a very happy C, which is a happy cockatoo. So for those of you that are watching, I do have webinars on my website at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. I've got one on teaching your bird to forage, because this is an advanced foraging toy. I've got one on teaching your bird to forage through a process called shaping, and I go through numerous examples. And I have another one called foraging for the advanced, or enrichment for the advanced forager, for the bird that tears apart everything. Because what I won't make is a toy that takes me longer to make it than it does for a bird to destroy it. So you can find those webinars at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com, and I'll be posting a schedule of upcoming live webinars as well. So once you attend one of those webinars, it's yours for keeps. Okay? So now Rico is a bird that will bite with overstimulation. He will bite from overstimulation with a toy. Okay? So I'm being very careful in here right now and placing myself between the toy and Rico. Let's see what he's going for. So he went for it immediately. And this is because I'm going to be away from him all day tomorrow. I want him to be, oh, he got that pretty easy. I want him to be enriched in his environment, and I want his environment full of choices while I'm gone tomorrow. Boy, this live stream is already 24 minutes, and thought I was going to keep it at 5. I fail miserably quite a bit. Okay, now I need to, because I'm hanging onto this toy, I need to place this toy somewhere and get out of here before his overstimulation redirects to me. Let me just go ahead and hang it right here for now. This is going to be pretty tough for him to get to. It's pretty tough for him to get to, but I'm gonna go back in and hang it once this live stream is over. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Questions? Please explain what a drill press would be used for versus a drill. Kathy, drill press. Right there. Whatever, Rocky. That is a drill press. These are for bigger blocks of wood. We stick it in here. We turn it on. We go like this. Drill holes. Drill all different sizes holes. Drill, hand drill, right here. Right there. All different sizes drill bits. If they don't go through it in a, oh man, I missed the question. Can I scroll back? I can. If they don't go through it in a day, do you leave it until he does, or no? Look at all those lovely drill bits. This is like heaven to me. No, I will not take that out of his cage until, what I do is I provide, look at all the different foraging stations we have inside this cage. We provide numerous different stations. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one up there. There's one hanging from the end of that perch that swings. There's another one right there. I'm gonna move that as soon as we get off of here because that is a danger. You got two chains coming together. Yeah, not a big fan of that. What are the colored things? A bunch of different colors of blocks of wood. So here we color all different types of toy parts. All right, this is what we made Saturday at our enrichment party. The Kristen Moran and Mary Beck were making those. If you guys saw our live stream on Saturday. Oh, you feel like your conure is so obsessed with me, he won't play with any toy or foraging device. I introduced to him, what can I do? Chandler, that is a loaded question. That is a very loaded question. What I highly suggest you do is talk to her. No, I'm kidding. What I highly suggest you do is contact me. Send me an email because that is not something I can answer your question. You have to. There's several things you can do. He won't play with toys. Your attention is a valued reinforcer. You can shape the behavior of him playing with toys with your attention. We were just talking about attention as a reinforcer today. Do you have any webinars on understanding what food drives the forage? You bet I do, Nicole. I have a couple of different webinars that you might be interested in are introducing your birds to, teaching your bird to forage. And the other one is on, I think it's called reinforcement. You'll see it. It's called reinforcement, and something else. I can't remember what it was. But see this level of complexity this is adding for him? So this is telling me he's getting those out too quick, too much quicker. But that, I'm just experimenting. I want to know if birds can taste good or are they just liking the colors. I have an umbrella cockatoo. Mary, I think more than, I mean, I do like colors, but for the past 2 years, we've been using enrichment with no color, with little colors, such as this. And I think, honestly, color is enrichment. A lot of times it's enriching for us, the people. Peekaboo yourself, Rocky. So right there's attention as a reinforcer. But what I think the birds like more than the color is when I used to make bird toys. Really? Let me tell you a little secret. When I used to make bird toys, I used to have to, so many times I saw something that the birds would like. Rico was just looking at me like, yeah. Because the toy parts were deformed, they were marked, they were divoted. That is what the birds liked, but the people wouldn't buy it because they thought something was wrong with it. So I used to, so I had to sell to the people. I had to sell to make the people buy it. But my ultimate goal, my ultimate end goal was to teach the people about what their bird wants through shaping the, a behavior of foraging, teaching an animal to work for its food. You guys see us do it with all the animals here all the time. That is why, one of the main reasons why I train, because it keeps animals working for their food. Contra freeloading is when the animal passes up the food in the dish and flies to you, runs to you, or whatever for the same exact food or reinforcer. That is contra freeloading. There's a lot of studies and science behind it, and it will be discussed at our October event. Hint, hint. If you're not familiar with our October event, pay attention. We're slowly but surely getting it on the website. It's going to be a 4-day event this year, with the first day being a behavior and training workshop. Let me turn this around so you can see what Rico's doing. Levels of complexity. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I am kind of glad that I hung that toy that low, because it's not easy for him to get to. Work that little butt, Mr. Man. So Rico is master manipulator of his environment. Oh yeah, he is. So I am making him work for it. And I'm gonna leave that toy hang like that because I'm gonna be out here for at least another hour. And this is gonna tire him out. Do you guys know that birds or any animal, when mental stimulation will wear out your animal a lot more than physical stimulation, or can totally wear out your animal faster than physical stimulation. So Rico isn't necessarily getting a lot of physical stimulation, but he's having to work that brain and understand and solve these puzzle pieces. So take a look at what he's struggling with. Yeah, anybody else have any questions? Sorry, let's see. Eva, oftentimes it depends on the bird whether or not color is important too. Yeah. What I see over time, the bird could care less what color. Yes! That's not true. Peekaboo! Suki loves the color orange. That's right, Rock. Rock and roll. So yeah, so if you like what you see here, pay attention to our annual membership program, because it involves it provides weekly live streams like this. And we go into detail. I mean, this was pretty simple compared to what we go into detail on the membership program. So he got that first one out. So he's been working on this for, let's say, probably about 15 minutes, right? Okay, if you guys don't have any more questions. Good to see you. My name's Lara Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. That's right, Rocky. You can sign up for our email newsletter, which you will receive information such as this. If you have any questions, you need to figure out how to get your animal or your bird foraging or interacting with foraging or enrichment, take a look at our website, theanimalbehaviorcenter.com, and look at our webinars, or just simply press contact me, and that will come straight to me. Do they have taste buds, Mary? Good question. Science is always evolving. So years ago, I'm going to turn this around so you can see what he's doing. Years ago, they thought parrots didn't have much taste in their taste buds. Science is showing different now. Look at him. See him how he keeps moving the block with his beak? He's like, see how he's just nudged it? Yeah, science is showing that parrots may have more taste than what we once thought. You are very welcome, Eva. And so, who told you that? So I am going to go ahead and sign off from Rico, Rocky, and me, because I'm not going to compete with that. All right, guys, thanks for joining. If you know of anybody that would benefit from this live stream, please share this with them. And don't forget, Enrichment provides choice into the lives of animals which have limited choices. All right, take care. That's right, Rock!